What's up, my peoples? Salutations, Yasharal, Yisrael. This is Rob. Welcome back to the channel, K.O.I, Oklahoma. And you see the title, The 5 Heart Qualities That Can Save Us from Ourselves. And when I say save us from ourselves, I'm talking about that can prevent us from the wrath of the Most High. That can keep us from the wrath of the Most High. All right, let me take this seatbelt off real quick. I'm wrapping up my day here at work and wanted to get this information out to you guys before I get into something else. All right, but so we're gonna get right into it. The first thing that we have to have in our heart, you know what I'm saying, that the Most High is looking for, you know, in a person that he will save or in a person that he will show favor to, that's loyalty. All right, have to have it. You have to be loyal to him. Turn to Exodus 20. All right, we're gonna go to a familiar verse of scripture. I'm reading from my Safari app. I did read this verse when I was researching to do this video. I did read this verse from the Septuagint as well. So I encourage you guys to go under the English. Don't just read your KJV. All right, you guys need to look at things from the standpoint of what the Tanakh says, and or the standpoint of what the Septuagint says. A lot of people out there like the Tanakh. A lot of different people like the Septuagint. Me, I prefer the Tanakh, but I do, like I said, I'm a big guy I'm big on going under the English at any rate. I like to check definitions. I like to get in the thesaurus, the encyclopedia. You know what I'm saying? I want to look at the origins of things, etymology. When I do my research, I try to make sure I got the right understanding of what was said in the manuscripts when I'm going back and looking, you know, going under the English, going behind the curtain, because we know that the haters of our people, the haters of our Father, all right, those who steer us into idol worship, and those who steer us into these religions and that kind of thing, all right, they don't want us to know the whole truth. All right, so you have to dig and do your research when you're trying to understand what the Father is saying to you in the script. The Father said, "Seek me with all your heart, all right, and you will find me." All right, so if you stay in that KJV, it's going to be hard for you to find him. All right, and it's going to be hard for you to understand everything that he's trying to say. All right, but let's go to Exodus chapter 20. All right. The 10 Commandments is all about loyalty. All right, and the very first commandment is all about loyalty. All right. Exodus 20, it says, "The Mighty One spoke all these words, saying, I, Yahuwah, am your Mighty One who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods besides me. You shall not make for yourself a sculptured image or any likeness of what is in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the waters underneath, under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I, your Mighty One, Yahuwah, am an impassioned Mighty One. Visiting," or in your KJV, it'll say, "I am jealous." But it says, "visiting the guilt of the parents upon the children, upon the third and upon the fourth generations of those who reject me, but showing kindness to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments." Loyalty. Basically, instead of saying all 6 of those verses, and I'm not adding to or taking away from his word, what I'm doing is paraphrasing. All right. Basically, what he's saying is, those who are loyal to me, all right, those who are loyal to me, I show kindness and favor to them. All right. That's summing up or paraphrasing what he's saying right there. Let's continue. "You shall not swear falsely by the name of your Mighty One, Yahuwah. For Yahuwah will not clear one who swears falsely by the Mighty One's name. Remember the Shabbat day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Shabbat day of your mighty one Yahuwah. You shall not do any work, you, your son or daughter, your male or female slave, or your cattle, or the stranger who is within your settlements. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth and sea, and all that is in them, and then rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahuwah blessed Barak the seventh day, and hallowed it. Honor your father and your mother, that you may long endure on the land that your mighty one Yahuwah is assigning you to. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or male or female slave, or ox or ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. All the people witnessed the thunder and lightning, the blare of the horn, and the mountain smoking, and when the people saw it, they fell back and stood at a distance. You speak to us, they said to Moses, and we will obey. But let not the mighty one speak to us, lest we die. Moses answered the people, be not afraid, for the mighty one has come only in order to test you, and in order that the fear of the mighty one may be ever with you, so that you do not go astray. All right, and I'm going to stop right there. Moses is telling the people, the mighty one wants you to be loyal to him. All right. So loyalty is the first part that has to be in our heart, where the Most High will be willing to save us. All right. That loyalty has to be there. Loyalty to him alone, it has to be there. All right. And that, I mean, we got to get out of the idol worship. We got to get out of religion. All right. The Ten Commandments, the things that the Most High wants us to do, his laws, his statutes, his judgments, those are a part of it, of the Israelite culture. It's a part of who we are. It is not a religion. All right. That's one of the main things I want you to understand. To be loyal to him is to actually live a lifestyle, all right, that is coherent and that is accepted by the Most High himself. All right. So loyalty is the first thing we have to have in our hearts. All right. Before the Most High will be willing to save us. We have to be loyal to him. All right. All right. The second thing. All right. The second thing is integrity. We have to have integrity in our heart to give ourselves a chance to be saved, to be redeemed by the Most High. If we walking around here hypocrites and we're walking around here as blasphemers and liars and deceivers and just a bunch of people without morality, you know what I'm saying? The Most High, he hates wickedness. All right? He does not like unrighteousness. All right? We have to have integrity about ourselves. Turn to Genesis 20. Let's go to Genesis 20. All right? And this is Abraham and his wife Sarah are journeying. The Most High told Abraham to leave his father's homeland. And so Abraham is journeying. And we're going to pick up the story. We're going to start at 1. It says, Abraham journeyed from there to the region of the Negeb and settled between Kadesh and Shur, while he was sojourning in Gerar. Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister. So King Abimelech of Gerar had Sarah brought to him. But the mighty one came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, you are to die because of the woman that you have taken, for she is a married woman. Now Abimelech had not approached her. He said, O master, will you slay people even though they're innocent, even though innocent? He himself said to me, she is my sister. And she also said, he is my brother. When I did this, my heart was blameless and my hands were clean. All right. You guys are about to figure out what integrity is. All right. in the eyes of the Most High. What integrity is in the eyes of Yahuwah. All right. Verse 6. And the mighty one said to him in the dream, I knew that you did this with a blameless heart, and so I kept you from sinning against me. That was why I did not let you touch her. Therefore, restore the man's wife, since he is a prophet. He will intercede for you to save your life. If you fail to restore her, know that you shall die, you and all that is yours, all that are yours. All right, so let me go back to verse 6 before I keep reading. Verse 6 says, I knew that you did this with a blameless heart, and so I kept you from sinning against me. The Most High told Abimelech in a dream, all right, I didn't let you touch Sarah because that was Abraham's wife. And you didn't have an ill intention, all right, when you brought her, when you separated her from Abraham, because you had integrity in your heart and you didn't have ill intentions toward her. I spared you from touching her or from messing up with her, which would have put you at fault and put you in adultery. All right. So I wanted to use this as an example because sometimes when we get into different or weird situations, depending on what's in our heart will determine whether we sin in those situations or whether we will operate in a righteous manner in those situations. And what happened with Abimelech, he didn't have any ill intentions. He just figured, he was dealing with, Abraham's sister, and he eventually he might have got to where he wanted to have a conversation with her about maybe becoming his wife or something. But that's why the Most High came to him in a dream, because he didn't, when he at first sight of her, and if you read in Genesis, you know that Sarah was a very beautiful woman. So he didn't have any ill intentions when he saw her that, hey, I'd like to lay with her. That didn't pop in his head or pop in his heart. So that's integrity. When you are able to deal with people with a moral compass on a righteous standard. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have ill feelings about, like in a man, for instance, a man doesn't have ill or lustful feelings about a woman that he meets, in a situation, whether he's at work or at the grocery store. He just looks at a woman and say, hey, I'd like to lay with her. You know what I'm saying? That is a lack of integrity. All right. And I've had to grow in my younger days out of that. I don't, a lot of that stuff don't pop in my head no more. Do I notice beautiful women? Of course I do. You know what I'm saying? Do I still have thoughts that might try to pop in my head about certain stuff? Not as much as it used to. You know what I'm saying? In my younger days, yeah, less was a problem, but I don't deal with that too much anymore. And when stuff does try to present itself, I take myself out of the equation. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to keep my integrity intact. All right, I want to keep a righteous standard and a moral reputation about myself. All right. Let's see here. All right. The third thing, qualities that we need to have in our heart so we have a chance for the Most High to save us. All right. Humility. All right. We have to have humility. Now let's go to Proverbs 18 and read some more. All right. Let's go to Proverbs 18 and read some more. And what I'm doing, I want to take you guys through the Tanakh, actually, the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim. All right, the prophets, the writings, and the law. All right. Let's see here. Proverbs 18. All right. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, He who isolates himself pursues his desires. He disdains all competence. The fool does not desire understanding, but only to air his thoughts. Comes the wicked man, uh, comes derision, and with the rogue, contempt. The words a man speaks are deep waters, a flowing stream, a fountain of wisdom. It is not right to be partial to the guilty and subvert the innocent in judgment. The words of a fool lead to strife. His speech invites blows. The fool's speech is his ruin. His words are a trap for him. Verse 8. The words of the querulous man are bruising. They penetrate one's inmost parts. Verse 9. One who is slack in his work is a brother to a vandal. The name of Yahuwah is a tower of strength, to which the righteous man runs and is safe. The wealth of a rich man is his fortress. In his fancy, it is a protective wall. Verse 12. Before ruin, a man's heart is proud. Humility goes before honor. And then I'll read 13 to finish up. To answer a man before hearing him out is foolish and disgraceful. All right, so going back up to verse 12, it said, before ruin, a man's heart is proud. Meaning, like it says in the KJV, pride comes before the fall. All right. And then the second part that says humility goes before honor. All right. You have to have humility if you want to be honored by the Father. All right. It says humility goes before honor. There has to be humility for honor to be able to present itself. And we want the highest honor of them all, the honor of the Most High, seeing good in us. All right. And so humility has to be in the heart. If you go read Zephaniah, I believe chapter 3, it tells us in the end times that humility is mandatory. All right. For the Most High to even consider keeping us from his wrath. So you have to have humility in your heart. It is what it is. All right. The fourth thing. Let's go to the fourth thing. All right. The fourth thing is obedience. Let's go to another familiar verse of scripture. 1 Samuel 15. All right. 1 Samuel. And I believe 1 Samuel is actually in the Septuagint. 1 Samuel is 1 Kings. All right. I'm in the Tanakh right now. But in the Septuagint, 1 Samuel is 1 Kings. All right. And we're going to 15. Let's see. Where do I want to start here? All right. All right. So this story is Yahuwah told Samuel to give Saul a message. Saul was supposed to go, I think he was supposed to go and, where is it at? I think it's the Amalekites. Let's see. Oh, yeah. He was supposed to go take out the Amalekites, and he was supposed to kill the king. All right. And Saul didn't do it. All right. So I'm going to pick up at verse 11. I'm going to pick up at verse 10. It says, the word of Yahuwah then came to Samuel. I regret that I made Saul king, for he has turned away from me and has not carried out my commands. Samuel was distressed, and he entreated Yahuwah all night long. Early in the morning, Samuel went to meet Saul. Samuel was told Saul went to Carmel, where he erected a monument for himself. Then he left and went on down to Gilgal. When Samuel came to Saul, Saul said to him, blessed are you of Yahuwah. I have fulfilled Yahuwah's command. Then what? Demanded Samuel. Is this bleating of sheep in my ears and the lowing of oxen that I hear? Saul answered, they were brought from the Amalekites, for the troops spared the choicest of the sheep and oxen for sacrificing to Yahuwah your mighty one, and we prescribed the rest. Samuel said to Saul, stop, Let me tell you what Yahuwah said to me last night. Speak, he replied. And Samuel said, you may look small to yourself, but you are the head of the tribes of Israel. Yahuwah anointed you king over Israel. And Yahuwah sent you on a mission, saying, go and proscribe the sinful Amalekites, make war on them until you have exterminated them. All right? Why did you disobey Yahuwah and swoop down on the spoil in defiance of Yahuwah's will? Saul said to Samuel, but I did obey Yahuwah. I performed the mission on which Yahuwah sent me. I captured King Agag of Amalek and proscribed Amalek. And the troops took from the spoil some sheep and oxen, the best of what had been proscribed, to sacrifice to Yahuwah, your mighty one, at Gilgal. But Samuel said, does Yahuwah delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obedience to Yahuwah's command? Surely obedience is better than sacrifice, compliance than the fat of rams. For rebellion is like the sin of divination, defiance like the iniquity of teraphim. Because you rejected Yahuwah's command, he has rejected you as king. All right, so this example that we get from the exchange between King Saul and Prophet Samuel, the Most High prefers obedience. All right, he prefers obedience over sacrifice and over burnt offerings. If you never sin, you don't need a sacrifice to cover the sin. It's plain and simple. If a man is righteous and a man is blameless, all right, if a man is humble, if a man has integrity, all right, if a man creates a good reputation for himself by walking in the statutes and the standards and the judgments of Yahuwah, if he don't sin, he don't need to be covered for sin. All right? If a man is obedient, if he has obedience in his heart, that obedience will save him. That is something that is in your heart. And Saul was lacking that. Our ancestor Saul was lacking that. All right, the last one. You gotta be obedient. You gotta have it in your heart. All right, the last thing is unity. All right, let's go to 2 Chronicles 20. All right, you got to be willing to be unified with the brethren. All right. 2 Chronicles 30. I apologize. All right. Let's see. Where do I want to start? All right, we're going to start at verse 7. It says, no, we're going to start at verse 4. It says, the king and the whole congregation thought it proper to issue a decree and proclaim throughout all Israel from Beersheba to Dan that they come and keep the Passover for Yahuwah, mighty one of Israel, in Jerusalem. Not often did they act in accord with what was written. The couriers went out with the letters from the king and his officers through all Israel and Judah by order of the king, proclaiming, O you Israelites, return to Yahuwah, your mighty one of your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. And he will return the remnant of you. He will return the remnant of you. Where's my spot at? There it is. And he will return the remnant of you who escape from the hand of the kings of Assyria. Do not be like your fathers and brothers who trespass against Yahuwah, the mighty one of your fathers. And he turned to them into a horror, as you see. Now do not be stiff-necked like your fathers. Submit yourselves to Yahuwah and come to his sanctuary, which he consecrated forever. And serve Yahuwah, your mighty one, so that his anger may turn back from you. If you return to Yahuwah, your brothers and children will be regarded with compassion by their captors and will return to this land. And Yahuwah, your mighty one, is gracious and merciful. For Yahuwah, your mighty one, is gracious and merciful. He will not turn his face from you if you return to him. As the couriers passed from town to town in the land of Ephraim and Manasseh till they reached Zebulun, they were laughed at and mocked. Some of the people of Asher and Manasseh and Zebulun, however, were contrite and came to Jerusalem. The hand of the Mighty One was on Judah too, making them of a single mind to carry out the command of the king of officers concerning the ordinance of Yahuwah. A great crowd assembled at Jerusalem to keep the feast of unleavened bread in the 2nd month, a very great congregation. They set to and removed the altars that were in Jerusalem, and they removed all the incense stands and threw them into Wadi Kidron. They slaughtered the paschal sacrifice on the 14th of the 2nd month. The priests and the Levites were ashamed, and they sanctified themselves and brought burnt offerings to the house of Yahuwah. All right. The Father wants us to unify. He wants us to come together and follow the instructions together. And that's how, if we have the willingness to come back to him together in service as a group, as a family, all right, if we have that in our heart, all right, along with the other things that I've mentioned, all right, we will set ourselves up to be better prepared for the Father to show favor on us and to save us, to redeem us, all right, whether individually or collectively. We got to have these five different characteristics in our heart for the Father to be willing to turn back to us and redeem us. And I believe that the remnant, he's working on all these 5 characteristics in the remnant right now. And that's why I wanted to do this video, all right, because some of us don't have all 5 characteristics. I know the Hebrew Israelite sects and camps and groups out there, they're still in idolatry. They might be unifying, all right. Some of them might be in obedience to the commandments that they can keep, but they're still in idolatry. And then we have others of us that we are in obedience to the commandments, all right. We have humility, and we are loyal to the Father, but we're not unifying, all right. We have to have all these things in our heart, all right, for the Father to regroup us and reset this thing and make us the head from the tail. All right. I was moved and motivated to share this information with you guys, because as we all continue to try to piece this thing together, the Father has left us breadcrumbs, and he's left all of us different pieces of information to share with the different with different listeners. All right. But I believe as we all put out these different parts of information out here, it's going to end up collectively joining us at the end of this thing. So hopefully you guys got something out of this video. I do appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. If you would consider subscribing to the channel. I'm just trying to grow little by little, and I just want to help people in they walk with the Most High, all right, until he resets us and reestablishes us through his King David. So much love to you guys out there. You guys have a wonderful weekend and an excellent Shabbat. Always give praise to the Almighty only, Father Yahuwah. We give praise to you and you alone. And may you continue to be exalted and magnified in all that we do. Thank you, Father. And thank you guys for watching K.O.I. Oklahoma. All right, until next time, shalom and shalom.